All right, welcome to the weekend video. This is Enda here from bullwaves.org. Go and check out bullwaves.org if you like what I do. If you want nightly Elliott wave analysis on the markets, many markets, check out bullwaves.org and join up. And I'll see you tonight on tonight's update. Nonetheless, let's move on. Just checking to see is my software working. Yes, I think it is. So, where do we stand? Where do we stand this week after an interesting trek through the week? As usual, some things go your way, some things don't. But where do we stand right now? I'll start at the US dollar crosses, and then we'll work from there. So, euro dollar, a turn lower. I suppose if you look at the 4-hour count, you can suggest that, you know, at least for the moment, we have broken the 200 MA on the 4-hour count, which is, it's usually a reasonable signal. I don't exactly like the pattern off the top just yet, but I think we'll probably get there. If you go, let's rewind a second. I'm looking for a B wave top turning down into a C wave. So I'm looking for 5 waves down. I'm looking for a retracement back towards about 102. If you've been following me. This week, the action has been interesting. It's been to the downside. I cannot classify it as 5 waves down just yet. I've been looking for 5 waves down everywhere. The air coming out of the markets finally. But in favor of this count, at least, we can say that we've broken out of the the lower edge of, or the lower line of this ending diagonal wave C. So we've broken out of that wedge. We are continuing to step lower, so there's no reason to rule out the main count here just yet. But I'm looking for something a little bit more impulsive over the next couple of days to confirm this wave count. So let's see if we get that wave 1 down into early next week before some sort of a consolidation higher in wave 2. This outlook hasn't changed over the last few weeks, but at least this week we can say that there is action to back up what I've been saying. Okay, so this is the 4-hour count in cable. The action in cable is a little bit more impulsive to the downside, but yet nothing conclusive just yet. I would say maybe a break of this left-handed neckline here, about 123, 124, would pretty much confirm the count here. Go to the hourly count. Possible 5 waves down building in wave 1. I think the action is probably a little more favorable towards an impulsive count than even in euro dollar. So I have been suggesting this previous fourth wave low here at 124.35 as excuse me, I'm chewing my own words here, as an initial target for wave 1 down. So let's see if we get that today. It's possible. Overnight, there's been a little early this morning. There's been a little bit of a correction higher, so it could be a possible 4th wave. So we could have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one more step lower into wave 5. Let's see if that initial support, that pivot low here, breaks at 124.35. Okay. Here is the updated count in dollar yen. I've been kind of chewing my tongue here also this week. The main count is looking for 5 waves down in wave C of 2. I have to say I still favor this idea, at least probably another step lower. But we could also be talking about an ABC pattern lower, which would finish a higher low. So somewhere, let's say, 3 waves down into this rising trend line. That would be a little bit more bullish count, or let's say a more favorable count in the shorter term. But that would, even if that was correct, we would still expect another leg lower, probably towards about 132 to complete that alternate view of the universe. Say, okay, so let's go to the short-term count here. The main short-term count suggests a B wave high is in, and we're looking for 5 waves down in wave C. So we've got a 1-2 pattern, maybe a 1-2 again to begin wave 3, but that you know, it's up for grabs at the moment. If we move higher, if we move impulsively higher to break to a new high, let's say we break above 137.80 again, then I'll probably switch back to the previous count, and I would suggest then that wave 3 is probably underway, even though we've been looking for that wave 3. Let's say the current count is bearish in the short term over the next week, I'd say, and then we'd switch to a more bullish outlook. But there's something missing here in dollar yen. Something missing. I'm going to give it a few more days before I think I'll nail my colors to the mast here. Okay, let's go for the Dow. The idea that a wave 2 top is in has, let's say, it has grown on me. We've still got an impulsive move lower off that intermediate high here at wave 2. So we've got an impulsive move lower. So far, we're holding below that low, so it looks like we have the possibility of a turn here again. Something akin to what happened here back in, let's say, mid-February. We've got that struggling sideways market, which could lead to another step lower, and I would expect another step lower in wave 1 of 3. That's my, let's say, base case outlook here. So we've got the wave 2 high here, a lower high, a slightly lower high by 300 points here, which classifies wave 2 as a running flat correction. So that wave 2 in green there. So this is wave C of 2 finishing a running flat, heading lower impulsively to begin wave 3 down. So I'm kind of allowing, let's say, I'm being a little bit more open towards a more substantive second wave correction here. So we've got an A wave up. What kind of swung it for me this week was 3 waves down, pretty solid 3 waves down, and then a retracement higher yesterday. Now, I haven't confirmed this wave C yet. I would suspect if we break 33,600 today, that would probably suggest that we're going up to about 33,850 in wave C of 2. I wouldn't want any more than that. I would look for an early turn down next week into wave 3. But so far, we're still building this 1-2 pattern here. I haven't ruled out the bearish wave count at all. I still think we're working towards that ultimate goal here. But next week, I would look for a turn down in wave 3 either way to break below 32,000. And I think that would be a pretty solid, convicting move, let's say, for the market. That wave 1 of 3 is underway. So the turn down is coming. Looks like I have to wait another couple of days. Okay, so here is gold. We're moving through it quite quickly now. Gold has possibly topped out a 5th wave of wave 1. That's kind of what I've been looking at the last week. Anyway, we moved impulsively lower, but that seems to be 3 waves so far. The follow through is what I'm looking for. So a possible 1-2, 1-2, and then a follow through to the downside within wave 3. So I would hope that we'd get that today, but kind of still remains open. I've been looking at a series of lows. So let's say this wave 1 in black here at let's say 1999. Going to party like it's 1999. If we break solidly through that, then this previous 4th wave here will give way at 1976. Then this previous 4th wave will probably give way at 1949. So we start cutting support here. We should begin to see more impulsive moves to the downside. That's definitely what we got in silver this week, but let's see if we get the same in gold. Okay, let's move on. Crude oil. The pattern updated quite a bit this week. The pattern seems to be hinting at a possible second wave lower high already in place. Again, can't confirm that, but it looks, for the moment, that's what I'm kind of suggesting here. A possible 5 waves down in wave 1, 3 waves up so far. Anyway, 3 waves up so far. Anyway, in wave 2, we've hit the 50% retracement level, and then the market has kind of lost steam. The rally lost steam off that, or the rebound has lost steam off that 50% retracement. So do we have a 5-wave pattern building in wave 1 down now? So this is wave 1 of 3, so a larger degree third wave decline on the cards here. So that needs to be confirmed with an initial move down into wave 1. So I'll be looking for an initial target for wave 1 in blue there at 67.50 or 67.40 at that previous B wave. So if this B wave gives, then that looks like wave 1 is done, and it really tips the balance in favor of a larger degree third wave decline. So that is the outlook for next week. Let's move on. S&P. The idea seems to be holding here. We have a this lower degree, let's say, head and shoulders pattern that I've been kind of pointing to over the last few weeks to complete wave C. It seems to be holding here. No, it's kind of like, how would you say, a hat tip. It's like a hint. We've got these hints everywhere, but we haven't got follow through yet. Hints are no good without follow through. So I've been, pining for that follow through to the downside. All the flags seem to be there, but we seem to be missing the follow through. And at the moment, that's where I stand here. Oh, let's get to the hourly count. Again, a possible wedge lower in wave 1. So that leading wedge pattern in wave 1. Maybe 3 waves up in wave 2. I just don't know yet. Again, need that qualification. The short-term pattern can be interpreted as hinting towards a larger degree turn, but you kind of need that. You need that intermediate pattern here in wave blue to really kind of swing in favor of the longer term count. I do still favor the bearish outlook here. The market seems to kind of defy me at the moment. Interesting to note that this wave 2 high in pink here came in pretty much bang on with the previous wave 3 high. So we've got symmetry around the top here. On the 4-hour count, we seem to be balancing on the averages there. Let's see if we get an unqualified spike down through the 200 MA again. That will definitely favor my outlook here, and we will see whether we go from there or not. So let's hold out on that one. Okay, silver. We were looking for a second wave decline. It seems that the action this week it would tend to favor that idea now, I think. Let's go to the short-term count. So a second wave, well, go to the long-term count. Medium, 4-hour count here. A 3-wave decline overall, I think we should probably challenge $21 again. If the bullish count is correct. It's still a bullish count. I mean, a 3-wave correction to a higher low is still a bullish count. But there is always that alternate. If the bullish count is correct, then I would like to see wave 2 hold above probably 21. Fill the channel again, maybe correct down towards this lower trend channel line, about $21 again, and then begin the process of building into wave 3 up. That would suggest a kind of 78.6 retracement there in wave 2. We get down towards about 21.20 in 3 waves, and then we recover probably sharpish enough back into wave 3 again. So we'll see how that goes. The hourly count, we had that developing 1-2 pattern last week, and we've pretty much sliced down through support here. Previous 4th wave low, 24.50. That's the kind of the level we were looking at all week. The slice down through has come. We've had the follow through. This is the follow through I'm kind of looking for. In so many markets, in gold, in stock markets, probably in Eurodollar and cable as well. To be honest, this slice down through support, third wave decline, to really kind of tilt the balance in favor of the operating wave count. So it looks like we've got a wave 3 down done here. If we get a consolidation today, that'll be wave 4, and then we'd look for another dip into wave 5. Wave 5, that'll be wave 5 of either wave 5 of A or wave 5. Yeah, wave 5 of A, I think. Sorry, so I may have, yeah, wave 5 of A. And then a consolidation next week in wave B, and then a C wave down in wave, or C wave down to complete wave 2, probably the week after. So we're looking at another 2 weeks action here in wave 2, probably. That is, if all goes to plan. So we'll see how it goes. We go to Bitcoin. We have follow through in Bitcoin also. You can see that we do have a channel down. So this could still be, I'd say, you could qualify this as a correction lower as well if you are, eternally bullish on digital ones and zeros here. But we'll see. I always love, Bitcoin bulls. You value your assets in dollars. So the denominator is what you actually crave here. It's not the numerator. The numerator is your Bitcoin. The denominator is your dollar. It's just like your house. You call this your asset or whatever. It's a depreciating asset. Your house. You cheer on the equity, kind of the buildup of equity in your house over time, but it's the denominator. It's the equity that you're cheering on. It's not the actual house, is it? Your actual house isn't getting more valuable to you. It has its utility value already. What you're craving is the denominator. It's the dollar value. That's how you kind of you get your own self-worth there. I mean, if that's how you get your own self-worth, God help you. But that's what people crave. It's the denominator that people crave. The dollar value, the settling value of that house. Just like Bitcoin, except people write off the denomination value. They say that Bitcoin is it's the new currency, it's the new gold, it's the new exchange mechanism. It's where the value is at. But then why do you value it in dollars? Because at the end of the day, you all want those dollars. Anyway, at least people who are speculating in the stock market will say that they're speculating in the stock market is not actually the share that they want. It's not the piece of the company they want. It's the dollar exchange value, or at least the tantalizing kind of whim of or whiff of profits in there in the exchange value. Until you sell it, you ain't got nothing. So I'll say that for ones and zeros too. Okay, let's move on. I don't mean to, let's say, I don't mean to stamp on anybody's or rain on anybody's parade, but I don't like. I'd like us to be at least honest with each other. What else? I'm going to do the FTSE because it's been plaguing me. Should I get out the weekly count? Maybe. Okay. The secular top for FTSE. I know we've come to a double top here, but the secular top I was actually calling the 18 high. Let's say I was the May 18 high, and I think we crashed in 3 waves into, let's say, the COVID lows, the 2020 lows, and then we have tracked higher in 3 waves again. So I'm calling this, if this is a new high, in my book, it's a B wave high. So that's A wave down in 3 waves, B wave up in 3 waves. So it'll be an expanded flat correction. And wave C will be expanded. And wave C will be torrential, I think. We're going to break the 09 low, I think, in FTSE. I'm not sure we even get there in the S&P and the Dow, but I think in FTSE we will get there, and I think we will crack it completely. So you're talking 3,400 again, in at least in wave C down. So this would be wave C. Let's get a a label on this. That'll be wave C of wave 4, 5. Be wave C of 2, I think, or would it be wave C of? We'll see. I've actually forgotten the next, the higher degree count on that one. I actually deleted my weekly chart, I think. Anyway, 3 waves down in A, 3 up in B, 5 down in C. So that'll be, it's going to be devastating. Let's call it that. That's actually wave C. God forgive me. I'm going to have to revisit that for the nightly update. Anyway, so it's going to be 5 waves down for wave C. Wave C will be, I think it'll be a wipeout. The crash in the FTSE, I think it'll be worse than the crash in the S&P, even though it's all going to be pretty horrific. But I think the FTSE is going to be worse. That's my gut feeling, to be honest. If we get the 4-hour count, I have been counting a wave 1 and 2 down off that wave B top. So wave 1 and 2 of 1. So we seem to be rolling over the last couple of weeks. Interesting to see now if we get a further 5 waves down. I would kind of suggest this wave 3 top, this wave A top here, about 75, 70 as an initial target for this next wave 1 down. So the hourly count, you can call that wave 2, and this would be a developing wave 1. So a series of 1-2 waves, and I promise I will update that tonight for you nightly update guys and gals. Okay, let's move on. I wanted to talk about the NASDAQ also, a new high in the NASDAQ, but I think there is an interesting interpretation for this C wave here, and it would be an ending diagonal as well. So this is a complex triple combination correction wave 2. We're holding just below the 50% retracement of wave 1 down. So we haven't even reached 50% yet in this second wave. If we go into the hourly count here on the NASDAQ, I think we can call wave C again a wedge pattern, an ending diagonal wedge pattern. So we've got a possible 3 up in 1, 3 down in 2, A, B, C, 3 up in 3, 3 down in 4, and then maybe 3 up in 5 again. So I think this market is very close to cracking. We've just popped out above the top of the wedge there over the last couple of days. The action this week has been, pretty dead in the water, to be quite honest. But we have moved higher to complete, I think, a 3-wave rally in wave 5. And the second I think that we see a break below this lower wedge trend line here, I think that will be a pretty solid indication that this market is turning again. So I would look for a break below this corrective band here. That's also the wave 1 high also. So we have a wave 4 low and a wave 1 high at 12,930. So watch for a break at 12,930, an impulsive move, and that will signal that the NASDAQ has cracked finally. And if you have cracked finally, if this life has decided to break you eventually, do not worry, because even though we may see an end or a no hope in our own life, and I've been there before, but even though there may be what you may see as no hope in your life, I think that's essentially where God begins to work. So there is a kind of a recurring theme among people who have come to faith. And that recurring theme seems to be when you have hit the final wall yourself, when you have come to the end of yourself, that's where God begins. And that's where at least God begins to work. Because as you give up and you say, right, that's it, God, I don't have any more. I don't even know why I'm going this route this time, but maybe someone needs to hear that. A lot of us have come to the end of ourselves, and that's where you let go and you let God and you say, God, show me the truth. And that's where God will show you Jesus Christ. because you need to come to the end of yourself and know that you are not enough before you realize that you need a Savior. And that Savior is Jesus, the Messiah. So call on Jesus, and God will be faithful to you. Because at the end of the day, if you're not right with God, because you cannot be, through your own efforts, you cannot be right with God, because we are failing entities. That's the only thing we seem to do well, is fail. And God can work with you then. You come to that point, God can work with you then. Okay. And on that note, for all you nightly update people, I will see you tonight. Get over to boaz.org, and I'll see you there tonight too. And if I'm still alive, I'll see you on YouTube next week. God bless. Godspeed. See you there.